Hey, what's up, guys? I just got back from New York. It was a really fun trip. I mean, I think I flew in last week on Thursday and I got back about the same time on Thursday. So New York was fun. It is not my first time in New York. My first time in New York was Comic-Con last year, and then I went back during Christmas to visit my brother, and then this would be my third time. But this time it was definitely a lot more fun. Comic Con was there for a gaming event and a lot of partying. This time there was gaming event, partying, and traveling as well. So it's always nice to have a mix of everything. So going into this trip, I just got back from MLG Summer Arena. That's why I was in New York. And so if you guys have been keeping up, you guys would probably already know that. So this is pretty redundant. But one of the things that they required of me while I was working there was to wear a suit the entire time. I looked through my entire closet and I don't have a suit jacket. And so I think the day before, I think 6 to 7 hours before I went on the plane actually, or left for the airport, I got my sister and my cousin to go out with me, and we just pranced around San Francisco a little bit. And I was like, hey, I need a suit. Let's just go get a really cheap one, like a $60, $70 one. So I went to H&M, and my cousin's like, no, no, this isn't gonna do. And she explained to me the philosophy of buying something that you would wear that would last forever and that you would really enjoy. I said, okay, that makes sense. This suit is pretty janky, and so we went to Banana Republic, and so we went in there. They only have a couple, and it looks alright. It fits pretty well. Um, Nothing too spectacular. And she was still kind of on the edge about it. And she's like, hey, let's go to Bloomingdale's. And so we went in there. We looked at the suit, and I was like, wow, these suits look great. I mean, I see it on the mannequin, and I just want to take it off, and I wish I looked just like that. And so I go up, I look at the price tag. It's like $1,500, $2,000, or $1,200. I'm like, oh my God, it's so expensive. And so we went to the clearance rack. It's like $300, $400, but none of them fit me. So we went back up to the expensive suit place, and I was like, "Hey, I have a budget of about 1,000." And so the dude found me a suit for about like 890 after tax or something. So that's what I was wearing at MLG. So it's pretty. I mean, the suit looked pretty good. I thought it looked pretty good. And so MLG was a different experience. It's a lot more fast paced than I used to. It's a lot of work and just a lot of improvising. I think one thing I learned is a lot of these uh, esports tournaments aren't something that people are like used to doing regularly or have done a lot of in the past. So it's always something new to discover, something new to learn. So going in there, they gave me a pen and they showed me Sharp TV, a touchscreen TV, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna try and use this TV somehow and incorporate it, do some type of like drawing and plays and stuff on it, have fun with it." And so um, I practiced for about 10 minutes, and they say, "Hey, Dan, you're gonna be on air in like 10 minutes." I'm like, I told the producer or the director or whatever, I've only had 10 minutes of practice, right? I'm gonna bomb so hard. And he's like, "Yeah, that's okay. We don't know how to use it either, so just have fun with it." And so I just went in there, started drawing, and started improvising. And I realized the controlling of the screen isn't really just all up to me. It's a guy that's also controlling the computer. So it took a while to coordinate that. And no, we switched people on the computer a couple of times. So every time you switch people, you got to change the coordination. And then actually they switched somebody up to do the board while I was casting, and I just remained the board guy for the rest of the tournament because it's a huge learning curve. You got to get used to it. And so that's it with the weatherman Din thing. It was new and interesting. I'm still always like reading Reddit and trying to figure out, all right, what did I do good? What did I do wrong? I'm trying to fix it. It's really hard to fix things on the spot, especially because you just read it. You're like, all right, how can I make this better? But you don't really have time to think it through. So maybe if MLG decides to do it again, it should be a lot easier and better for me next time. Um, Other than MLG, it was fun meeting the players. They didn't really go out. They took it a lot more serious than about a year ago. I think about a year ago, we'd go to tournaments, we'd get drunk and plastered every night and just party, and then we'd go into the tournament hungover. And no, league's gotten to the point where you can't do that anymore. You need to be at your best. You need to be at peak performance and condition. And so these players I used to go out with all the time, they actually, just stayed in and rest and relaxed a bit. The only time we really went out until like 4 in the morning was on Sunday after the tournament. That's with me and D-Man and Elements and Optimus Tom. So that's where we went out. We had a good night out in town. Other than that, I booked a 2 extra day in New York just so I can go travel around and look at things. I had a lot of fun just walking around by myself. I was traveling alone basically at that point, but nonetheless, you're in a city with things going on all the time. There's a lot of people that aren't from there, so it's always easy meeting people. Not so much when you're walking around, but when you find yourself situated in a place where you can talk to somebody for an extended amount of time, it's easy to talk to and make friends that way. So, and D-Man actually had his flight out at 7 p.m. the next day. So we just went on a bus tour together. We went through the entire Manhattan pretty much. We started at Times Square. We went all the way towards the ocean where you can look across and see the Statue of Liberty. We circled all the way back to Central Park and then landed in Times Square. Then I just set him off into a taxi and say, hey, good luck back to London. And for the remainder of the time, I just went around. I ate a lot of good food. I spent a lot of money on food. I think I had a beer every meal. And at night, I had like 5 to 7 drinks. The first night out by myself, I was actually in the bar. I had like 6 to 7 drinks. I was ready to get my dance on. And I got up. I started dancing. And this dude comes over, taps me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, are you Dan Din? He's like asking me. He's like, I don't want to sound weird, but you look like somebody I know. I was like, yeah, I'm Dan. So, hey, nice to meet you. He's like, oh, I'm such a fan. I was watching at the arena. It's so nice bumping into me. Let me get you a drink. So he got me a gin and tonic, and so I drank it with him. And since I was alone, I kind of just got jiggy with it with him and his buddies. And he introduced me to his buddies. We hung out for like 5-10 minutes, and he started dancing with this girl. And the girl was in a group with 3 other girls. And so I was like, hey, whatever. I'm with these guys. Let's just start dancing. So I just grabbed a random girl, and we just started dancing. I did a little bit of the samba, the cha-cha, the salsa. Grabbed her arms and twirled her around a little bit. It was fun. And then these 2 other girls are dancing to the right of me, and I was like, oh damn, she's kind of pretty. I kind of just made my way over there, started dancing with them, and then introduced myself, and then we hung out for the rest of the night, and they went out for a smoke break, and I'm not a smoker. I probably have smoked like 3 cigarettes, maybe 5 in my life. We went outside, but the girls are cute, and they offered me a cigarette. I took one, and then I smoked it with them, just so I could make conversation. I didn't really enjoy it, but good thing I didn't get addicted to, but I'm definitely not a smoker. I don't care if people smoke. It's just a personal choice, by the way. So we're talking, and the girl that I thought was attractive said that her friend that she's with is single. She's trying to hint at me that you have to go get jiggy with her, and I wasn't interested. You're out and there's 2 girls. You want to go for the pretty one. Well, they're both pretty. I just want the prettier one, and I didn't go for it. So we went back and I started dancing. Another dude came and picked up the girl that she was trying to hook me up with, and I was like, yes. Now it's just me and her. I started dancing with her, put my arm around her waist, started pulling her hair, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I have a boy back home. I'm like, oh, not cool. And so we're looking over, and the guy that pulled the other friend away, and they started like making out like an hour. And, I was just dancing with her. It was a little awkward for a while because she said, I have a boy back home. I said, hey, don't worry about it. No, and I don't really care. I'm just here, I'm just having fun. I don't expect anything, and so we just hung out. Went to get pizza afterwards, but it was an interesting experience that night. Oh man. Oh, second night. Second night was fun too. I did the whole same thing. I went out by myself. The girl was dancing. She's shaking her ass. She bumps up and grinds me on accident. Turns around. I spilled a little bit of my drink, and then I said, "Hey, don't worry about it." Made some conversation, and I noticed she's with three very, very attractive girls. She's pretty attractive herself, but her friends are very attractive. But it was getting really late. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I hung out with them. I introduced them, introduced myself to them, and then made conversation. Started dancing. They said I was a really good dancer. Danced with them for a bit, but I just cut it short. I got one of the girls' email and sent her an email as I was walking out. 30 minutes later, I got a bounce email. I was like, "Oh, this sucks so bad. They're so cute." And so I was just face palming myself. I'm like, what's up with these foreign girls and not having a phone number to give me and just keep on having to send me like an email address? Because it happened the first night. I met this French girl and she said, "I think you're very attractive. You need to contact me soon. I have a phone number that I can't remember off the top of my head, but because when you're traveling, you get a new number." And she gave me her email address, sent her an email address, didn't get a response. So I think it's just something with me handing them the phone and they type it in wrong. Because I know for a fact that the email that the second girl gave me was a typo because I look at the keyboard, I'm like, oh, the O and the I is right next to each other. No, because her last name is Iverson, and then she spelled it as Iverson, S-I-N, instead of S-O-N. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, how many typos did she put in here? And so that was very disappointing. But they're really cute. So that's enough for like the bar scene, the night scene. I got a lot of dance on all through the week. I think for like 3, 4 nights in a row. I saw the terracotta exhibit. They had some terracotta warriors from China in the Discovery place. I don't know. It's a museum. I'd like to say Discovery Museum, but it's a museum that's owned by the Discovery Channel. And so, whatever. It's just the Discovery Museum. I saw that, the terracotta and the spy exhibit, and yeah, that's my New York experience. It was fun though. And then so that's basically it. And then I was about to go home and I drank too much at the bar. I'm looking at the watch and I was like, oh shit, my flight's in 2 hours, traffic's an hour. I gotta check in and I gotta find a cab, I gotta get my stuff from the hotel, so I was like rushing. I thought I was gonna miss my flight actually, and I was rushing and I walked onto the street, I got grazed by a cab and the cab got pissed at me and said that I'm stupid and I'm trying to get insurance money by walking in front of it. I'm like, oh god, I need to catch my flight. And so I said, sorry, I'm dumb. I just kind of made my way out and got a car and he drove me there. He was like madman taxi driver. Got me there just about in time for my flight, but it got delayed anyways. And so everything worked out. Overall, New York was a fun trip. Now that I'm back, I gotta do some work on those guides that I promised. I'm actually heading to San Francisco in a few hours, actually, to visit the teams and see what's up. Because I'm going to face off tomorrow, so it's gonna be a fun day tomorrow. So if you're going to face off, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So that's it for my vlog. Hopefully you guys are caught up on what I did. But it's definitely exciting. I'll probably do another one after face off. There's always something to talk about. So hopefully this vlog is interesting. It's just a little bit of I don't know, just to keep you guys in touch with what I'm doing. All right. Thanks a lot. You guys have fun.